In the beginning there was
In the
nothing.
beginning, there was nothing.
All was darkness.
All was
Say.
darkness.
All was
Say.
darkness.
There was nothing at all.
There was nothing
Only
at
the
all.
mother.
There was nothing at
Only
all.
the mother.
Only the mother.
She was Aluna.
She
was
a
pure
Luna.
thought, without
She
form.
was pure thought.
She began to
without
think.
form.
She began to think.
The mother conceived the world in the darkness.
The mother conceived the world in the
The mother
darkness.
conceived the world in the darkness.
She conceived us as ideas,
conceived us as
as we
ideas.
think out a
Conceived us as
house
ideas.
before we begin to make it
As we
real.
think out a house before we begin to make it real.
She spun the thread,
She spun the thread,
spinning us all in the
spinning us all in the story,
creating us
creating us in thought.
Creating us in thought. And then came the light,
And
and
then
the world was real.
came
And then
light,
came the light,
and the world
and the world was real.
I first met Shibalata when he was 50. I was 48. He's 70 now. Around 20,000 Kogi live here, the heartland. They have no wheel, no writing, and do not welcome strangers. They believe their job is to take care of the world. Shibalata is called a mama. It means enlightened. He's training his daughter, who uses the name Francisca. The mamas said they wanted to work with me because the world is sick and dying, and we have to understand that. They decided to abandon centuries of caution and warn us. I came to the Sierra Nevada in 1988. Alan Herrera, working for the BBC. The Mummers said they wanted to send out a message.
I'm here. We all are here to give a warning.
The animals die, the trees dry up, people become ill. Many new illnesses will appear. There will be no cure or medicine for them.
They say that we mutilate the world because we do not remember the Great Mother.
That unless we do something, the world is coming to an end.
He has destroyed so much. Does he see? No. Understand? No. Start to understand, or what will happen? Right, that's it.
Then they waited, watched, and listened to nature.
A major earthquake hit Japan Friday afternoon, causing widespread devastation.
Predicts searing droughts, epic floods.
ماشي تقبع أزواج مش تقبع ده هنقق أبزق نيوي طب شغل يوبا أنا قاعد نيوي سينز نقاسين نعم أقهي هنا دوزي هناني أبي أخشى نقهناني هي تابخني هي جيسل لانجويز خنقنا هي نوني هي جيسل لانجويز خنقنا كوجوان في خنقا
شنا نالجن هاي سيجوي يسوما قوتشا شنا نالجن هاي صحيحة نيبوي
خاتنا ما نغنا وتيجي ناس تونغوتشا ناس خاتو تيجي غني ميل هذا خيتا هاي فرنسي أخي شقايقة يقعدين كنا نقول Ai parecer em terra jucaiaga e quadringa na gulita.
I'd stayed in touch for 20 years, but not been summoned before. In the meantime, I'd retired. I had no BBC helicopter, and a Kogi had learned to use a camera. They wanted to show our scientists the way nature interconnects, so together we constructed a plan.
Hello?
Oh, hello. This is Alan Herrera.
Yes, hello there.
I'm phoning to confirm our order for thread.
Right, okay. Where would you want it delivered to?
This is something I need to discuss with the Indians. There is a real possibility that they may come to you to collect it.
call this the civilized world. It's a sort of joke. Here they have no address, no documents, no identity. They speak no Spanish, have no signatures. For them, shoes would break the connection between humans and the earth. Without shoes, you're not allowed to board a plane.
I think we're going to need 400 kilometers of gold thread.
400 kilometers, yes, okay, fair enough. Is that a fairly precise amount?
There's no way of being really precise about it, is there? I think the question is, how long is a piece of string?
Do come through and let me show you the machine that's made this gold thread, which I've made for you here. Now the thread is made by pushing a core yarn through a pipe here, and the wire laps around it, and it runs onto a reel at the bottom here.
Haba, Guchak, Kasak, She, Kalbashanga, Hadas Rankwanga, Hadashukuanga, Nibun Kajani, Shibaksak Shagunanani, Nukane, Shizangake, Aksha, Wakush Nilakana, Nanki, Kiga Hoja Kanjak.
It all seems so obvious to them. Places are linked by a black thread of invisible thought. Gold is linked to Aluna, it never decays. But what's that to us? We arranged a meeting with a world-renowned astronomer to see if the Kogi picture of the universe can make sense as science.
I'd like to begin by asking the Kogi view of the world, how large it is and its form.
Ne, khana yak mokwa, nahi ikibenga, hat hameshgotuka, se, havas hatese, arlegets hatese, nigchiga havase.
Their picture of the universe is never going to be yours.
No, because I have seen things that they couldn't possibly imagine.
But then what you talk about are things that the rest of the normal human race can't imagine.
It's not that complicated.
Well, I hear the words dark energy.
Ah, well, dark energy is a recent discovery.
When you say dark energy, what are you talking about?
It's a property probably of space that we haven't yet understood, that makes the universe accelerate. And it's a mystery at the moment.
But it fills all space?
It fills all space. It could take another 100 years before we really finally understand what's going on.
iku kagune ay hay kiga akawa magwe iku kagune amma hay hatan yatain ka sakha zumaya amma iku kana nasan hay eswama hatan kwa ku chi wa kama gatsha zumaya amma cheku enyeki agunga zega.
And these nodes are intersections with the material world and the darkness, is that right? I'm trying to understand whether the Kogi can grasp the idea of learning something new from an instrument like a telescope, the concept of discovery.
I think that their notion of acquiring knowledge is the opposite of ours. I think our notion is that each generation knows more than the one before. And theirs is that each generation knows less than the one before.
No sangwez na kaya sinanalji to ay jiktsina chapana itungwa sungze na hizna kahikine tungwa sungze saka eka ay makia tawa khan hagitung ay gwasungze nugne chinilakana henki na hiki hiki na koy ne agnas ki tung hana henni iki hata hen chik kiyana abahana na qol henni alunji iki ne ma hiki ne nizanguz na tung wasungze.
Here he is in London learning completely new things that he couldn't possibly have imagined in his village. Most people would say that experience changes you, you know, maybe irreversibly. But I don't get that impression looking at the Mama. I get the impression that he has a vision and his purpose is to tell us that vision, and that's why he's here. What we see through the telescope, so this is a picture of a small part of the sky, and what we see is lots of systems of stars that we couldn't see without the telescope.
And then let's see him.
That's a star, yeah. That is one star by itself. Mama has found the one star in this, a single isolated star in this picture straight away.
That's
right.
But we cannot see it.
Why couldn't we learn from them?
Ai Fransai akhjuqaiga iquadinga nangulita ai parecerente akhjuqaiga iquadinga nangulita.
The Mamas set out to trace a black line along the shore, joining specific sites by the mouths of the rivers. These, they say, connect directly with locations on the mountain and are where they used to do their work, before the modern world took over and changed things.
Nuk nature haba hate to hate.
The sites may have been destroyed, but that's the point of the journey. The gold thread will be laid. The hidden line will be revealed.
Zungkagaykun kanana ay swama sulbaka heka gazabika hukumaji nabguji wanuka swama nauka heka fakakuka nekaiga ki hanye enyaga guga kuna laksa kukia pega pana hanye nuksuzwa ekiga hen ijbe kazabika.
Eswama means place of authority. The Kogi believe that's how nature operates. Eswamas in the mountain have direct linkage to places on the shore. The Kogi told me before about token objects they exchanged between the mountain and the shore, but I'd thought this was symbolic.
Nasahai Nibakaja Noxus Gapeka Zabing for the Habahanga Kasaga Aluna Shudamas Kawashi Gun Peka Zabing. Nasigiki Eni Sugi is also no Chaka Eni Shulamana Jigon Negateka Loka. Sigiki Nas Ekinana Sugi is a few layer Kaloka.
Hega henga Aluna hangote hega zingaju nuka hangote.
Mixing the burned, crushed shells with water produces lime. That makes a paste in their mouths that Kogi men say connects them to the source of life. That paste is rubbed off the stick onto the top of the sugi.
Nogana Twajawa, the Swinuka a begetek logacheke, Aluna any Shudamaga going. Nogana Twai, the Sukaluka, Kaltamba a go take church Shulama Kalte, Akajuka go take a look.
Any a nugnais on point a sugi. Are they changing Nokshi. Gochekika nuka wakwadika kuka zuka achakwadika kuka hanujige bazingaji nukachi nokshi
I kiss one cut. Ah,
we have a no gun.
I have a Kamata window again.
Mailin lakin al-Gwan. Doba koje kol-Gwan, washin ke hade yow katsabi khanane. Ne hina naji kayaki maili akashengo pana, akipana, nuk. Ton akucheke, hine kanapana guha.
Nasmin gaki hiya bega tsena mene am
Akuna gatsake tay joz ngabi chakay
Amakhina khiga sabchaka miya je sadzi no khatun kwanki mako akberde ki
Ay namag na dajamag je enka ay ama hanashamag nakhe ay qakwamag nakhe twa ay znaka ay snahanguna na iganalaki ay nagna ay ama khawish ko to ka ay znaka china na nalakane akay enki hiki ne akogen akane nalakane to ki.
Why they want younger brother to see this? What is the point? What do you think younger brother will... How will this change younger brother? I don't understand.
To kuche ay ungu kana denki to ay kiget iki akoje a chiga to ay gabash gabani gabanam ne kage kiget heki sha ko hagu bakalga arminga kinani adanya de tongshanga zunga tsakhe ay nu seginga ne mi haba ne gwakwamax kiget iki ko haga gwakwa de jini kisaki ko dakwaji eji au khazikwa shi nalqana hangwina tongshangwan kada.
I just can't see that what happens to one specific site is echoed in another miles away. But the mamas say understanding that is the key to healing the world. Dr. Camilo, you have been working as a doctor in the Sierra for many years. You have got to know the Kogi very well. You've learned a good deal about them, I think.
Desde hace unos 35 años.
Are there things that you have seen a mama or mamas do that you have thought only a mama could do that?
Sí. Por ejemplo, hay un ejemplo que es la cuenca del río Huachaca, que fue una cuenca que fue deforestada por los cultivos ilícitos, después la ganadería se acabó prácticamente, hasta que se las entregaron al cuidado de los indígenas. Y no hace mucho, eso hace 20 años. Hoy en día, caminar uno en esa cuenca es una cosa completamente diferente a como era en ese entonces, que eran potreros, los ríos secándose. Hoy en día son bosques, animales otra vez hay en cantidad, el agua. Son cosas sorprendentes. El problema es que no son consecuencias inmediatas.
Jacinto, what is the plan for today's filming? What do you want to do?
Si vamos allá en ese sitio, los mamos van a estar conectados con los sitios sagrados de la parte alta.
I'm sure all this is very interesting for you. I thought that we were making the Kogi wanted to explain that the world is dying because of our actions, and they wanted to make this plain and clear at certain sites along the Black Line. So far, I have seen nothing to indicate that the world is suffering or the world is dying. I have seen nothing to indicate that what happens at these places on the Black Line has anything to do with the health of the world.
Y entonces de pronto ahora yo les voy a decir a ellos que cada uno ponga su yatco para consultar, porque esa es la acción que tenemos que demostrar que sí, verdaderamente tenemos conexión con la naturaleza.
I agree that it would be a good idea for the mamas to consult and think more about what they're doing and consider how they communicate with us, because they need to show to us that they actually do have something to say. To show that places on the coast are connected to places higher up and directly affect them, we really have to go up the mountain and see the connection.
The lakes that are found high in the mountains are linked to the sea. Bubbles appear in the water, and the bubbles make the connection. That is how we communicate with the lakes and the sea, and with the mother. The waters speak.
The waters speak.
Inagani khadjigash inahi hinajikana ji amagba natum khadwajik ay nan may ko e mujigba abanu khaudin gujikana abanu khaudin gujikanja nadagali nakka khaygan koy alen toguna habaza ku qatobale hey kizna kuwanki nani ko yaga yabazin kwa khadjiga ay hakika taji zna konne to na lagali nak hay amma bai ka ti ite nauni na ne to no jiga ko to gala kinu kha abayan gu haba hango gaw na manja ay awon ya bai nan gonne na manja na manja nam مولاتو موديغا باش قباش كوا شوي اتشا من قدي يا
I'm sorry, but the bubbles don't speak to us. We have to see the connection with the Neswama.
Jacinto, ¿qué hay? What is our first possible date for going up the mountain?
Y entonces, última hora, vimos hay unos grupos ilegales en la Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta. Ya saben que van a subir unos grupos de gente extranjera. Entonces es muy peligroso para nosotros.
Right. Obviously, we must cancel. We can't take the risk of going anywhere dangerous. How long will it take him to get up there, find things out, come back down again?
We dare not fly up the mountain, even though we have a helicopter for the day.
ويا خوا انشي ايزو كيبو دومينا لاتي نغنتي سانكدا مولاتاتشي ايزاتشي مقالاتشي لاكوتشي اي ويا خوا زاجمي اي اغات نهنجين داكي تدو بعدين شو هنا وتنو وشكتو كتو زي خدزقاي جانغوا كيكودو كينكي زاديموتشي
The indigenous tribes are so alarmed that they walked for days from communities on the world's highest coastal mountain to reach this site on the shore. Developers have dug a trench to drain the lagoons here, mangrove swamps teeming with life. The construction company says that building a port here is necessary for Colombia's growing mining industry and will create 5,000 new jobs.
Es un plano del esquema de ordenamiento territorial del municipio de Bulla. El sitio que ellos llaman Jucurba está a 12 kilómetros del occidente de esta línea. Aquí no existen zonas de pagamento, no existen comunidades indígenas.
Usted que no conoce, usted que no conoce. Nosotros somos dueños, estamos reclamando. ¿Y qué hace tú?
Bueno, bueno.
De años, no, de 500 años por allá.
Yo lo respeto inmensamente.
أما هنقول قلت ساينك جازم نخبرك بعد وتشغزنك ني خلاشاني ناخذك مطلشاني ناخذك قاقشة شاني ناخذك نغلا بعد
Hawas gato na kang kami.
Gato na kang walakam.
Kunay na hay kuki.
Ni khawinjan hagle khay ni mama khuzza binga gule gugada khane ni ai hawa khagi sunga ne hi ni atol sham khane appa
Alengo kocha kuku kide.
¿Por qué estamos acá?
Kwai sai si zai wakai nastunga amak izam kwai ikiga kwada ikiga gas kwai ni nak ikiga kanya shan zai liga ba shan zai de kwai zai garna kaya ki nani kwai hanan kwai ku kiya gaw akze ikina laje kaiga hanya izune na dan ni khada ga tanani man ahu khakut mo ko naki ni nafshaqtin ha zak washa naski haykinu khana malaytun sai shi zak akaygi zagasha hayki kaga hay hata koi mayle mijiya huji migaganga kagen mitsigwa ko shija shuija tuwa Nggak saya matu engine ni zabat tu kana hinak siya hinal kana. Okay.
Well, it's a beautiful day down here on the coast of Colombia, and behind me there's the snow visible on the mountain peaks of the Sierra Nevada. And it seems that the gorillas have melted away like snowmen. The army is saying that they'll fly us up. The only problem is, this is the third day we've been waiting for the army helicopter because the weather has been lousy. So, our schedule's fallen apart. We're not at all sure what we're doing or how we continue. We hope that a helicopter is going to turn up today. It looks very good here, but apparently the weather where the helicopter is taking off from isn't so good. So, we'll see what happens.
With nothing else to do, the mamas have time for a Caribbean beach party. But they also consult the bubbles.
Wachakas kaha. Aina. Heka hakibat heka huluniki heka. Mkwai. Ya enga haukatukwa haukajahuka gunai. Nature. Habaga kutuka. Tsakangi hitchi haba.
Mamas have restored the forest upriver, but at the estuaries, professionals are in charge.
Aman, I would like you to explain to the mama what your view is of damage to the river estuaries.
Yo soy biólogo y toda mi vida trabajé con peces de agua dulce. Los ríos sí son como una unidad, pero es una unidad que fluye, que se mueve, pero se mueve en una dirección. Y hay ciertos efectos que son muy claros de arriba a abajo, pero hay otros que son mucho menos claros de abajo a arriba. ¿Por qué? Porque no hay ninguna circunstancia que traslade ese efecto hacia arriba. El efecto hacia abajo es lógico, lo traslada el agua. Entonces, muchas cosas, la erosión, la deforestación, las partes altas, tienen efectos sobre las partes bajas, pero lo contrario no es muy evidente. Es más, no es evidente desde un punto de vista.
No sé qué tú la chacas, no tú la chacas, hay chichajane tú. Y que vía que cada que hay sonido lo que acone, ataca. Kuyi na kai kiga kuya, bueno, en su nakai, cada vez je reviens de que hay arena. Je reviens de. Ay un moment tu jeune, je kugi que sagasa, et kiga to. Ni ka no kai kiga ya. Kadga. Wa khajapanaik. Wa khajanya medigan. Satchajali na lakana madohi. Bueno, aquí aven gamigan me le acabamos con chanchir de que.
Bueno, pero no explicó en qué forma ocurre. Es decir, la conexión de las lagunas de arriba a las de abajo es obvia. El agua corre hacia abajo y el agua lleva cosas. Pero, ¿qué lleva las cosas de vuelta de las lagunas de abajo a las de arriba?
Bueno, fue sin que van, fue. Hay que viajana, hay que guanana, viajana. ¿Cómo de tu no callas no? Una gente es México. Saki nazi nalaki. Mi hanti geigaha. Ni khala zeguha. Mi hanti ni hanki. Hai huerdok. Mi hanti zeni hanki ni hai aleng tungkaki. Mi hanti jini ni zabira tochak. Hai haba kijoka. Huya hawa. Shenta abuje baka. Abuje getse ijogen. Hai ni ranki hai sopak panu kani ranki atami miang kageiga shaha haba kijuk kaiga haine aleng kaiga awoga no ka ginichi na dini ke hei ki mijel no hanak bone no ge eka hui goga ka giting gaimi ka hui je kabaka hui je tuba giting go gucha zengar de gejak
nel de geles na ngwak ناس إيه ناس تونش إيه مع تونش النيتش زي جاغو النق khiba shudama ga kula jama kucha mashiki nasin ay khiba jahe zingahana ki ucha saynuqa ay khalta guiza chaki música ba jazir do shaki jai música ba hin
shina naljin ay hay sayjoy ay hin sahiqa ni boy zajiwen ay khayshan qa ay khayshan qa ye chi sanqada inun qana ga tsaqa ay sopaq bakwe aban yusuni atadeva baden shuha aban yusuni nagna hanyu chihaba nagbetanuk ay jigawatsi goni kumpanya kasra ki aqua ay kahukulu ay ki aqua wango tohanki yahe iza ay kagukhani chkhaba hani suni sopa hayak bakwe ni watema agbakwe haba hanan dula shika agbakwa de fangas hani kamanki ni aksha ngwe hani ka kangwa alang bedegele hen mi ben kokka hen bocek sema to hen ang nay kami ben ko ay ahi haba agi sa panan ba wen kana hen mayan yi khan ay nay hatan yaraksu ha ni khan gunan ni khamane ya hen ki alusani ne hen alusani ne hen asanjine zananakte asanjine kanan gojeznak ya boche hiyanat eni hin panane boche hikiga ay gang kochana nakwale
وخماي نانيكي قولما دولجيش ميتشيخ ناسنكي هانيوبانا دولجيش خاتشيخ نوغانا هاي قيقب قاي باي نوغ يتشيق لقاكي هانيوغان خاتشيخ شولاما ايني هابانا دولجيش شيهي خلوق
gunene hina nazi mi luka akaitua iskwazinga kalkane hina nazi sinazi kana hina nazi lakaiki chunagze gunene kagama ilis aki imami kwazi to hakina gozi chunagze
habas nigi la khayba kshenkina chak nigi zakya la yana ko khassa nagi وجدين شدين أتوقع تكون كم وتقعد دوجي خلوه خلنا ناس أوكي نعم كم وخا سنتش بتاعها هي نوي كيما زي أكل شيء كم خديجة خليك يا بس أبغى خليك
يجيلو كنان نوقعنا ay swama sai nagne wakahina naji kina daki hai heye ina khadayde heyna khadaydina ay qay iyo khazikwe heye naqad ay khalga ayen dulashi khalga iqa sheniga khalga ariwacha khalga nawi hu nawqa ay khaqte hay mayagate dulas chagay khaqte dulasha nigni khazika nuqsuza ulak hay nazgi kukwa hada hanin khayhana huwisku khagay ay khagay
saki ay mi que via con el aquí Ai zuqabala zigana uni hubaleti mawalde migabiak. Ave nuqama quziraki huzi mayate piaba migabiapana shqagakwe. Aini magazahecha guapanejan Eizo Aluna muleto guiaba migabeina. Casa huaba ztana ainuja ijigzitu azheita guakwe. Eja azheita makochiga ganuja uni zitu guchiga kai guino y chengsha shibala manakuisha guin guakwa uni zitu guasanze. Eikimi halige togechiga gakwa aituhin jawa zana na migahon gwajini ni aiga ma hauhajiraya na lagale sai mon taize ga cigarna ni ha miya tune na jaka aina hauha ay khatoni mahulok sa gwehanki sai kugwa sahanga ba sumimi ga hongo jiniki miawati eni mabe ay kimi halaishi eni joshinga magaza haicha gotugochigarna ya gako isabi makodira yaga tiya nawa jawa haini kuhazi mnukama kodini jini na hubadeji magaza haicha gotogako. Aini jini ay hubalaji nagazakacha gugale nale aini jini akskaita wala charles nakanuse maninga nistunku naklegaki uba abu chigabanga uba najishanuha nak wachiga aikigo to gachiga achaganu mama hai na yatai nuka tungo juga inale inki hi kiga tsine ngwe kha nan kapana chiga saki jini inki makako ine ubang na kan naklay.
Well, this is the third night of our 2-day visit to the Siswama. We're not quite sure why we're still here. We needed to move on, and to do that we needed mules and a helicopter. Mules to carry food and baggage, and a helicopter to carry the camera equipment. We got the mules. We didn't get the helicopter, and we don't know why. We have satellite phones, but they're not really working. All that we can do is receive text messages.
Why does your phone say it's 1728? Have you noticed that?
And so far we have had 2. We believe they come from somewhere in the 21st century, but they are a bit mysterious. We got a text message this morning which said that the helicopter was about to take off. That was at 8:30 this morning. We waited, and we're still waiting. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Ahang nazun kajo nagasalguan guashin ke kohen nuabi kwai. Nabulo enye ki mushinga ungu kalga. mureto gay hak ya uchi joni nesum kanak tsurgon. To sai matu. Enye akanga enye akuhangu hana shasha to achipana panangomine hiki zaigarnu. Hene mi hen en tanane en yahbuna ne kizabattu. En tanane en yahbuna ne kizabattu. No, wan. Uche santamanta ay ni atuqa tuhanqa atuqa buqa man yahbuna ne. Hen yahbuna. Neche sankalan wan agata ki kharbeziko. Doy mu koy khaqten wan agata ki kharbeziko. Waktuak ya sikigu hen to iya ajikane harin koyo hato ya hay khagaleni ne miyaki khanagem hay khatay maglanda ana ein kakut katon fa khadzi hay ajik tanna ushtagi kana fangato bana he khadzi nalaji ne hay fakun no aban khashadak wato bal ya ana kazin wa
The Kogi say that damage at the bottom of the rivers, at the river mouths, affects the system up here. Do you believe that?
No creo, sé, porque todo lo que puedes hacer a un ecosistema arriba afecta el funcionamiento de abajo, y lo que funciona abajo también, como están actuando, afecta el funcionamiento de arriba. En este lago está cambiando la vegetación. Han sembrado especies de otros países, eucaliptos, cipreses, alrededor de la laguna. Esta vegetación evapora rápidamente el agua y afecta y compite con las especies de niebla. Estas nubes que llegan de las vertientes enfrían el agua y la condensan y escurre por los troncos y se acumulan en las rocas. Estas rocas son rocas madre, rocas de arenas que acumulan el agua como una esponja y sueltan esa agua abajo en las vertientes. Vemos que no solamente los ríos son entes muertos, son entes que están relacionándose con la fauna, con las aves, todo el proceso de dispersión de semillas, por ejemplo, se da de arriba abajo y de abajo arriba. También todo el tema de algunas especies que no sabemos por qué se encuentran arriba, como por ejemplo peces en las zonas de lagunas. Muchas veces se ha visto por trabajos que están asociados a migraciones de aves que llevan huevos de pescados en sus alas. Es por eso que en muchos países, por ejemplo como España, estas teorías han cambiado la forma de funcionar. Especialmente se están desarrollando trabajos para descanalizar los ríos que han sido canalizados en las partes bajas para mejorar el funcionamiento de los acuíferos en las partes altas.
It was beginning to fit together, and we'd had some good news. A world leader in marine biology had actually arrived on the coast to look at the sites and meet the mummers.
Well, one of the things that I'm very interested in is the way in which the Kogi view the natural world.
The Kogi talk in quite a mystical way about the connections between the sea, the rivers, the lakes, the land. I can't see how that makes sense to a scientist.
Well, it makes a huge amount of sense, particularly here on the northern coast of Colombia. The Kogi talk about threads between these systems. Effectively, those systems really are very strongly connected. All along this coast, the development has disrupted the flow of water from the land towards the sea. And this has caused big problems in the whole area. Because of the very high evaporation caused by the heat, you end up with very large quantities of salt in the ground, which often kills the vegetation. Along this stretch of coastline in Colombia, you almost have in microcosm what is happening elsewhere in the Caribbean and also elsewhere on the planet. Their view that all these activities are really having a serious impact at a larger scale are quite right.
Yabe, naz, sugi game hin zablache ni hin ganga no wanga zablache hum buka gatanche kida je kwan. Nga khaga carbon ayo khani je ko. Agna ko ya pega pan. حاجة ما طاقة حاجة كده قصة يا حبيبي عليك صندوق هنا a hankali da je.
A eso, esta operación hacemos nosotros, andamos vaqueando. Bueno, ya sacamos la olla esta, se le saca la tierra, así.
Un hueca zalguanga, me saca zalguanga. Zalguanga, kagaba, hanna. Kogi gitsa haba isha no khajang ate gwen. Hanyenak ekiga kwen. Nukane kaga konjen he. Guha. Mailig nuak nabagisa hanchak zagaja kakotwa. Kagaba washikia gwenak.
Están enterradas. Solo para topar una prenda de esas, hay es que trabajar por lo menos 4, 5, 6 meses para de pronto topar una prenda de esas. Y eso estando muy de buena para toparlo. Y si no, no topa nada. Saca por ahí pollitas y otras cosas, pero el oro es trabajoso ya. Pero para ellos sí representa mucho. Porque eso es de los antepasados de ellos. Los legítimos dueños de esas prendas son ellos. No son los particulares. Pero como todo en la vida es trabajo, uno la busca para poder sobrevivir.
Naski gitse, amagbai gitse tola chekton gakugay na kagaba gwashi, hani gizan gakugay jan na chek ma ni kamalesh ama makka ma gawm de jihi kagaba gwashi kya bana. Nagale guttamil qashana wajamil qada, anyeki nas tola chek kuki gitse nen shanga kugay jan na bain qahana na nagwe.
No, pues yo al mamo le diría que a nosotros pues que nos disculpe.
Ay min waq ay kiwaq akoznak akhanke. هذا نهي هذا قاجر جي كوالينغا يقصنغا خكو جي كوان نقانا نلقص تواصلنا أقاي ألين شامهنجي إكيها هذا أكونغا قلقنا يتشقطوا ميا جي قيغا جي كولقصان نق ما نجي كو هنغوي قلنا أزبوانا ميجرنا.
Bueno, para mí, las guacamayas han dicho es por la destrucción de la naturaleza, que ya ellas no tienen a dónde sobrevivir, no tienen un paradero para llegar. Aquí hay un bosque para llegar, donde hayan semillas para ellas comer. Para mí es eso. Yo creo que por el asunto de la guaca no.
Hello, Alan. How are you?
Okay, fine. We've just managed to log on to Skype. You can hear us?
Yes, we can hear you, and please send my greetings from the Zoological Society of London.
نرد لما يخشخهم وبعملين قوي وانا انكي صاينا لنغاكي النبا اقن قانا عيني النبا عطي اجيتي نقا قن النغني قان ناوقا جيكو قميلنا اوقا نقا تلققبا.
In conservation, we have a problem because we tend to conserve an area without much thought to the special places in a geological time scale. So for species, there are areas that are like a refuge, which through geologic time have been extremely important for them to survive. And on the short term, we may remove these areas, and there may be no big effect. But in the long term, through history, the species can't persist when those special zones have disappeared. So in many ways, we're looking for much the same thing, is to understand where exactly these special sites are. We have to better understand connectivity, and right now we have a very basic understanding of how things interact and affect each other. And I believe that this is essential for our future security, to understand these special sites, to ensure that they're conserved.
Jonathan,
yes.
I want to try moving the computer to another location while we continue talking, if that's all right. See if it works any better. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you fine.
The connection seems to be holding, and when I turn the computer around, you may be able to see the dolphins leaping, which are paying attention to this conversation, taking some degree of interest.
Well, it's an important one.
It is very extraordinary to hear that these kind of origin sites that the Indians are talking about make sense to you as well. This won't come as a surprise. It certainly comes as a surprise to me, and I think will come as a surprise to a lot of people.
I don't find it such a surprise, really, though. I mean, people living with nature understand a lot more about it, obviously, than a world that has become much and really disconnected from it. Living with nature, you realize that certain species have certain strongholds or certain refuge areas that are essential to them. They're telling us something from their experience, which we should easily recognize, but for some reason we find it very difficult. And I think it's very important to have that message. And they're the ones that are going to know these particular areas in the forest that will be important for the long-term survival of species. So I think we have much to learn from them.
The final estuary, the final place to lay the thread, Cienega Grande, the Great Lagoon.
Pakuanya, ucakina mkwai, dia khasha panane, akan ki ayah dengan gada, hekam maya dengan kanane, ucakte, mencuba kaji pakuanya dengan kanya.
I think this really illustrates the Kogi concept of threads between different parts of this ecosystem.
Okay.
Kasa kajin shulama shi sai kajin zin kawashe gun. Gunene kaiga haba hai tur na kuchik khanate. Nogana kaiga jiu hai tur na gunkal.
Gold
does not decay.
Does not decay. Swamas were dressed in gold.
Swamas were dressed in gold. Now it is wealth.
Now it is wealth, and has all been plundered. This was the material bridge to life, vitalizing the water. The Swamas are stripped. The water dries out. How will we live?
I thought the journey was over. But now the mamas took over the filming, simply saying that without hope, all this would be pointless.
Aglaya gatse, santama tagwani ay zubagi kya ay na magwanga, aduk kanal kangwakwe. Nis kaka nau kagwang na hangwakwe ga eka kalga, naguna na may hanki. Azkaitaki nadaki ikiga bakalga wonga
I thought this was the mamas' journey, and I would film what happened to them. But in fact, they were taking me on a journey. they see a possibility of hope if we listen.